everyone, my name is Aga Tompkins. Welcome to my channel. Today we're talking hair, healthy hair. If you have hair that is breaking, not growing well, you're getting split ends, and you want more information like what is going on, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and I'll fill you in on how to grow your hair healthy and happy. So I always have people asking me what can they do to grow their hair healthy and to keep it from breaking, being brittle, all the things. It's one of the most common questions people ask me, and I think it's time to do a video on it. I don't know what I've been waiting for this long. Here are some of the things that you might be doing that are damaging your hair daily. So the first thing I want to get into is blow dryer. This is one of the things that I honestly believe is hurting people's hair the most, and they don't even know about it. So we'll start with that one, and as I go, if it is something that you're certain isn't a problem for you, you can fast forward, check out the next thing, because there's a few things, and oftentimes the way it works is it's one of the things. It's not always all the things. If you are noticing problems in your hair, it's kind of like a checklist. Let's try something new, let's try something new, till we finally figure out what's wrong with you. It's almost like going to the doctor. Sometimes you don't know until you try eliminating things or whatever, and then you see results. And that's kind of where we're at. So the blow dryer is one of those things where people get a blow dryer, they use it for 10 years, 20 years, who knows? Most people buy a new blow dryer when their old one breaks. It's not a thing that people feel the necessity to replace based on how long they've had it. It's oftentimes one of the things that they forget to clean. This thing is essentially possibly frying their hair. It is what it is. You know, it's not easy to hear because we want to believe it could be anything else, right? It's definitely not my blow dryer. That's like the first thing everybody tells me. But one of the things to take into consideration is, have you cleaned the back of your blow dryer? There's usually, on most blow dryers, there's a filter and you can pop it off. It has like an attachment on the back of the blow dryer. You can take it off and you kind of clean it, run it under water. A little filter comes out and you can clean it off from all the dust and things like that. Sometimes it's pretty nasty. If you're a person that does it regularly, good for you, give you props. I know most people don't. So try that first. That should be one of the first steps. If your hair is damaged and you're noticing breakage, any kind of inconsistencies on the ends of your hair where you're like, something's wrong, clean the filter on your blow dryer. That's the first thing. The next thing that's a possibility also with the blow dryer is, if you've had your blow dryer 10 plus years, it is time to get a new one. I've told my clients this many times. What happens is, think of your cell phone from 10 years ago and think of your cell phone now and how much technology has changed and things like that. Some people probably still have their blow dryer from 15 years ago and that's the one they use. Because if it didn't break, why would they get a new one? You know, that's the concept behind it. But a lot of the things that are advancing in technology are also advancing in our Flatirons, our blow dryers, like all those products. As those things change, that is something that's good for your hair. Getting a newer blow dryer that has been developed in the last 3 years or 5 years even is way better than the blow dryer that was developed 10, 15 years ago. If you've had a blow dryer for 10 years, I'm sorry, you're not gonna like it, but it's time to get a new blow dryer. There's heat sensors in there. There's a lot of things that have evolved through those 10 years. Get with the times and get a new blow dryer. Obviously, I'm not saying you have to get a Dyson, but I'm not saying you shouldn't either. So I will go into that. I put off getting a Dyson for longer than most people should, and I'm usually the first person on these things. If something like that's coming out, I'm buying it. The Dyson Blowdryer is a fantastic blow dryer. Usually the blow dryers I used on my clients, I'll show you guys an example. It doesn't have a handle, so when I blow dry my client's hair, I hold it like this and blow dry their hair. And so when the Dyson came out, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can switch. Pretty much my entire career, I've used a blow dryer that does not have a handle. And I finally got it. It was just time. One of my friends was like, you need it. What are you doing? And I was like, it's true. I don't know what I'm doing. And I can tell you guys right now, it is so much of a difference. I would especially say for somebody that has curly hair or dry hair or brittle hair, this blow dryer is magic. I don't even know how to describe it. If you have any reason to dry your hair faster, this blow dryer cuts like 15 minutes off my time easily. I would say for somebody that just doesn't have the time or whatever, it will save you time. It blow dries faster. It is healthier for your hair. You don't have to get the Dyson. There's plenty of good blow dryers, but if it's something that you've considered and you wanted my honest opinion, I can honestly tell you it is worth it. It is 100% worth it. And I know a lot of people don't have that kind of money because it's a lot. Like, it costs so much. But I think investing in it, especially if you do your hair a lot and you do blow dry your hair a lot, is completely worth it. So it's AGA approved. And so let's say you have a good blow dryer, you're all checked off, you clean your blow dryer, all the things. If the blow dryer is not your issue, then let's move on to the next thing. Obviously, Flatiron. We're gonna get into the heat stuff first because heat is one of the major things that will damage your hair. So we really gotta tap into the heat stuff first because I think that's the #1 thing that'll cause breakage. That's one of the #1 causes of bad hair, essentially, is just too much heat. So Flatiron. I think a lot of people turn up their Flatiron all the way up and that's the heat that they use it on. And I know a lot of people are just like, I have to do it. Give it up. I've flat ironed so many people's hair and I promise you, if you have it at 300 degrees, it will still flat iron their hair. You do not need to have it at like 500 degrees. Unless you're doing like a keratin treatment or something of that nature where you need the higher temperature, that's what the flat irons are made for that high temperature. It's not for daily flat ironing. I think it's really important to bring down that temperature on your flat iron and just accept that it's working. It really is. It's okay. 300 degrees, 325, up to 350, I'm like fine. And as far as your curling irons and stuff like that goes, same thing. Do not use the high temperatures. So that goes without saying, not just flat ironing, but I think people that flat iron their hair regularly are the ones really damaging their hair the most. So you gotta use heat protector. I brought up some of my favorites and I'm going to show you the ones that I really love. So there's different options. Okay, the first ones I'll show you are ones you use when your hair is wet. These two are two of my favorites. This one I had been using for years. Pravana Nevo Intense Therapy Leave-In Treatment. This stuff not only smells really great, but it's just light, it's easy. I don't love products that make your hair greasy or overly heavy, if that makes any sense. And this is a really light, nice leave-in treatment. And although this does not protect from heat, this is a good thing to start with. With this, I would suggest also using a heat protector once your hair is dry. I'll show you some heat protectors that you can use on dry hair before you use your hot tools. But this is great for before you blow dry. The next one I really love is the Design Me Power Dry. This came out a few years ago, and when it came out, I was like, of course I'll try it. I love trying new products. And this company legit at that time had this one product. That was it. That and a Puff Me spray. And the reason I bought it was because they had this like awesome volumizing little powder spray. And I was like, I'll try this. So I tried this and also smells incredibly. Speeds up the blow dry, which is awesome because that means that's less time you're putting heat on your hair. It is anti-frizz. I don't know how. If your hair is frizzy, this stuff, like, it's magical. I have a client who you would never guess would blow dry poofy. Her hair naturally is kind of, it's just coarse and straight and beautiful, but when I blow dry it, I always have to run the flat iron through it at the end because it kind of like frizzes up, and there is no way, even with a round brush, like totally smoothing it out, for some reason she would have kind of like pink. I don't know why her hair did this. This is the only product that once I started using this in her hair, I didn't have to flat iron her hair after. I could honestly round brush it and it was beautiful, silky, and just lasted her like, I don't know, like 11 days she could go without washing it, and it was like perfectly perfect. So I highly suggest trying this one. I'll also put links down below so you guys can just click on them and check them out. The next one, Rusk thermal shine spray. This one's great for somebody that needs a little bit of shine. Maybe not for your super fine hair. If you do use it on fine hair, make sure you only need a little bit. You don't need a ton, but this is something you can use right before you flat iron. So it does not have to go on wet hair. It could go on dry hair and you just kind of mist it in, brush it through, and then you could do your flat iron business. I really love this spray. It gives hair life. I don't know how to better describe it. It makes it look shiny, beautiful. I suggest this. This is another one of my favorite thermal products, the Kenra Platinum Hot Spray. It's a firm hold heat. So this is more for if you're doing curls or something of that nature. If you are using intense heat on your hair, probably hair that you'd be doing before an event or something, this is the stuff I would use. This stuff's hardcore, and it also helps keep your curls in. So if you're somebody that has a hard time keeping a curl, this stuff will help hold a curl in your hair. It increases shine and it prevents thermal damage. So I definitely suggest this for people that really put a lot of heat on their head. With this one, you wanna like spritz it in, comb it through, and let it dry for like a minute. You need a little time after because you don't wanna like sizzle your hair. Nobody wants that. You don't want that, don't do it. The last product I'm gonna show you guys is the Bedhead TG After Party. The packaging is fun, obviously, and everybody kind of knows this product for its packaging. You can't miss it. It is awesome. I'm gonna actually show you guys a little bit of this one. This is one you put on after your hair is styled, essentially. So like once you put in curls or whatever, you can put a little bit of this. You only need a tiny amount, and you kind of rub it through your hands and then you put it through the hair. So you don't want a lot unless somebody's got a whole lot of hair. It's one of the smoothing products that I just realized this little thing behind me makes my head look like it's sticking out. Great. I've been looking like I have a pom-pom in my hair for this whole time. Well, now you guys know what it really is. But yeah, so this stuff gives shine and is amazing. If your hair gets like frizzy and it's bothering you, this is a great product. It doesn't really grease it up. I don't even know how they make it. Smoothing cream for silky, shiny, healthy looking hair. If this is something you can use to use less heat, because this is helping you smooth the hair, then worth it. Anything to do less heat is great. Products are a big thing that people ask about often, so I just figured I would show you some of my favorites. Anyway, this product is not really heat protecting so much, but it is. And let me tell you why. So this is hairspray. Everybody knows what hairspray is. If you're styling your hair with heat of any kind, putting a barrier between your hair and that raw heat is important. So even if it means that you're putting a little hairspray in your hair, that is still helping. This is my favorite hairspray. It's the Kenra Volume Spray. Super Hold, the number 25. It is like an award-winning hairspray. I just love it. It is my favorite, and I've talked about it before, and I'll probably talk about it again because I've never used a better hairspray. I've been using this for, oh my God, so many years now. I don't even know how many. A lot of years. But it is amazing because it's not crunchy, if that makes any sense, but it holds like crazy amounts. My hair does not budge, but also it doesn't look stiff. It has body volume. I can comb it out. It doesn't get stuck where you're like, If you sprayed a ton of this in your hair and then used a brush, you wouldn't have that like pulling feeling. It would just like lightly let go, but at the same time hold really good. Amazing hairspray. But if you're using heat and you use hairspray, that's good actually. You just never want to put a flat iron on hair that has no product on it. Don't do it. Don't put a curling iron that has no product on it. Just don't. The next thing we're gonna go into is washing your hair. So this is a big one, and I know a lot of you have heard this. Don't wash your hair every day. I know that some people are like, but I have to, but you don't. I know that people with more fine hair, they just are like, this is impossible. It's not impossible. This is the thing. Your hair needs its natural oils, and those are good for your hair. As much as having greasy hair sucks, there's ways to also prevent that from happening. To prevent your hair from being as greasy, one of the things, and this is a long haul, so get ready, sit down for this, your body produces what it needs. If your scalp detects that there is no oil up there, it's going to produce it. Whatever you need, your body tends to produce, okay? So if you wash your hair every day, the sebaceous glands in your scalp are screaming, hello, help, please provide more oil. And your body's like, got it. And then it's like, let's make oil, and it makes oil. In order to get over that, it may take months, sometimes 6 months, even up to a year for some people of training it. And I know that some people are like, this is impossible, this is not gonna work. I promise you that if you don't wash your hair for a while, your body will naturally stop producing as much oil for it. But you're gonna have a rough time for about 3 months. So I would say do it in the winter when you can wear hats as much as possible, or in the summer where you can wear your hair up a lot. The way it works is your sebaceous glands will adjust. Your hair will be like, oh my God, it's so greasy up there, I need to stop producing oils, and that's what you want. So the way to help during this time is use dry shampoo. Like I said, wear hats. Do every other day at first, and then you can always push it even more than that. I think you shouldn't wash your hair every day, no matter what. I honestly, I say every other day is the most. And then for people that can go longer, I mean, if you can wash your hair once a week, I'm not saying don't shower. You can still shower without washing your hair. It's okay. You can get a shampoo cap. And I know people that exercise often complain about this. But like I said, they make dry shampoos that make it possible to go an extra day. Okay, so just try that. That's the next thing I would ask you to try, because washing your hair every day is not good for your hair. The next two are ones that you should know about. They're things that you do anyway, but do them gently is my suggestion to you. So one of them is towel drying your hair. People will put a towel on their head and go, no, don't do that. You're literally using a piece of cotton and you're damaging your hair with it. You're straight up just like filing your hair into like crumbles, okay? I don't know, I got no better words, but you know what I'm saying. Don't rough house your hair with the towel. Gently wrap it and leave it. It's okay. If your hair is badly damaged, maybe it's a little more sensitive, try not doing the towel thing. Just try blotting it almost with the towel instead of rubbing it. Don't rub your hair with the towel. The next one is using a brush and brushing your hair vigorously or combing while it's wet. Your hair is more susceptible to damage when it's wet, so try to be very gentle while your hair is wet. You want to gently do the things you do because you are going to get breakage. And the last thing I'm going to go into, and this is one of those subjects that people always, not that they argue, but they're like, how? This makes no sense. Well, let me explain to you how this makes sense and also get into it. So, trims. I know people are like, if I'm growing my hair, then why am I trimming my hair? Well, hair gets damaged anyway, and what happens is your hair will split at the bottom. In order to prevent further breakage up the hair strand, you need to trim that before it separates and breaks off twice as high. I suggest you get a micro trim, which is literally the very ends. You go into the salon, you go and you say, I want a micro trim, a mini trim, a tiny trim, just the dead ends. Whatever you have to say, and make sure your hairstylist understands. You're just trying to trim off those dead ends, nothing more, and you should do this every 6 to 8 weeks. That's a month and a half to 2. If you get a trim on your hair, and I've done this experiment with my best friend, we did it for a year on her hair, because people are like, if you trim your hair, how is it gonna grow? Well, her hair grew. We did pictures. We were like, we're putting this one to the test. And I can tell you guys personally, from my personal experience, I trimmed her hair every 6 weeks and her hair grew and was healthier, and it grew so much in that 1 year that, believe me, even if you get trims, you will still grow your hair if you're trying to grow your hair, okay? So don't believe the myth that it can't grow because you're cutting it. It will grow more, I promise, because what happens is you will lose more hair from it breaking by not trimming those dead ends than you will from trimming what you trim off that was gonna break anyway 5 inches up instead of 2 millimeters, if you know what I'm saying. So just trust me, please trust me, get trims. I would say no more than 8 weeks. Every 2 months, you should be going to the salon and getting a trim. Even if you have long, beautiful hair, you should trim it. I promise you, you will be glad, your hair will feel good, and I know not everybody's gonna do that, so it's okay. If you don't trim it, as long as you're happy with your hair, then that's fine. That's all that matters, right? At the end of the day, our hair should be what we want it to be. So if you're happy, this isn't pertaining to you then, because if somebody doesn't have a problem with their hair, they're probably not here watching this video. Unless you're my friend, then hi, you're over here supporting me. I appreciate that. Hey, you may learn a thing or two anyway. And the last one is kind of a bonus one, and this pertains to shears, which isn't necessarily something that most people worry about, because why would you worry about my shears when I'm the hairstylist? People have told me, I don't know what you do, but when you cut my hair, it grows out so well and it is healthy and blah, 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 blah. So keep in mind, I tour for a living. So whenever I'm on tour, I'm not taking my clients, and sometimes my clients have to go get haircuts somewhere else during the time that I'm gone. People come back to me and be like, I don't know what you do that's so special. I don't do anything special. What I do is I invest in my tools. I get my shears sharpened regularly, and I use some of the best tools out there. If you go to a hairstylist that does not invest in their tools, you will also notice a difference in your hair. If you look at my shears under a microscope, they're sharpened, they're perfectly sharp like a razor. And when I cut somebody's hair and slice that piece of hair off, bam, it's gone. It's such a precise cut. Under a microscope, you would notice that there's no jagged edges because my shears are so sharp that it makes a perfect cut. Whereas if you look at hair under a microscope that a hairstylist used shears that weren't sharpened, that were cheap, bad quality, if you look under a microscope, you will see little lines of demarcation immediately after the haircut. And the problem with that is those are already parts of the hair that will eventually end up splitting. It is really important to know also like who you get your hair cut by. Tools are very important, and bad shears can also really mess up your hair, and that's something that the average person doesn't think about, and you probably shouldn't have to, but it makes a difference. I guess you'd like to know that. There's no way to really ask your hairstylist like, hey, are your shears expensive? Or have you sharpened them lately? I think oftentimes you can tell the people that really invest in their career and the people that maybe can't yet. Sometimes it is, you get what you pay for, and unfortunately, I do think that is true sometimes. Same thing with like the Dyson Blowdryer, for instance. I mean, it is a big difference, but it all depends on what matters to you as a person, because some people really don't mind. They'll go get their haircut and they're happy, and if you're happy, I always tell people this same thing with shampoo and conditioner. I'll ask somebody like, oh, what kind of shampoo and conditioner do you use? And they go, oh no, you're gonna kill me. And I'm like, why? And they're like, I use Head and Shoulders or Pantene Pro V or whatever, the ones that are, you know, not professional grade shampoos. And once in a while, I swear, I have a client whose hair is incredible. And the reason I'm asking them often is because I'm like, wow, your hair is amazing. And then they tell me they use that and they're embarrassed. I'm like, why are you embarrassed if obviously whatever you're doing is working for your hair? So again, like I talk about makeup sometimes, everybody's hair is different, and what works for you may not work for somebody else, but maybe your hair loves the things that are inside the herbal essences shampoo. It's not sad at all. So, and maybe you're a person that doesn't wash their hair every day. So between that and whatever the balance of things you did was, that shampoo and conditioner works for you. I'm not gonna tell you don't. If you're happy, keep doing what you're doing. If you came here to get some advice, I've given you all my advice, all the things that you can try. I say experiment with a little at a time, try different things and see if you notice change in your hair. And let me know. Let me know if any of these things helped you get your hair healthy. And I would love to hear if you guys have any other suggestions. I would love to try. These are my professional opinions. These are things that I've definitely tested myself and know, and I've tested on different clients that I have. I think they're great tips for you to start. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video helped you, and I hope to see you guys back in the next one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Check out my Instagram. I post pictures on there, and feel free to ask me anything. I'm really looking forward to making more videos for you guys, so I hope that there's like fun ideas and stuff that you guys want to learn about or hear. I'm ready to teach you guys all you need to know about hair, makeup, whatever. I'm here now. I'm not going anywhere. Give me your ideas. I'll see you soon. Bye.